So with this sandbox, when I was a kid, I had a giant sandbox my dad built. It was a triangle, 15 foot long on each side. It was awesome. So last year, I decided to build one for my kids. The issue with sandbox is most people build the sides here out of 2x12s, which you can do that, but 2x12s are very expensive, and the wood price is so high, I have to go a different way. So what I did was I built them out of 2x6s. So there's 1, 2, 2x6s. That saves a lot of money. Originally I was going to build a square, 8 foot on each of the 4 sides. And that would have made it real simple. And I got the back and the 2 sides built, and I was looking at it, and I changed my mind. I went and got a couple more 2x6s, and I built it kind of like this. It just buys a little extra space. So the way I built this is I went and got one of those drill bits for planting bulbs, about 3 inches in diameter, and I drilled about a foot deep for each of these verticals here into the ground. So I laid out the 2x6s on top of each other, connected this, and then planted it into the ground. And I built the back first, nailed it to the fence, then I put these 2 side parts on, connected it there, and then I built the piece there. And that's just 45-degree cuts. So once I had the frame on, then I took some 2x4s and I put them flat. And the reason I did that is that when I was a kid, you could sit on the edge of the sandbox, and it was kind of always a problem because we used to flood the sandbox with water. So I fixed that. I just put some flat parts, and actually it worked out really well. I could just sit on the 2x4s. The last thing I did is right around the very inside lip is I came and I got some of these galvanized right angle pieces of metal brackets you can buy. They're very cheap, like a couple bucks. And I screwed them to the inside lip all the way around. And the reason that the sides are in the ground and that lip, the metal brackets are on the lip, is that over time the sandbox probably wants to push apart, especially with the hydraulic pressure of water in it from rain and whatnot. I just didn't want to see it get ruined, so I just did it that way, and it should hold together pretty well. When I got done, because I always over budget on materials, I always have 10% extra, and actually it came out perfect and I didn't do any mistakes. So rather than take the 2x6s back to the store, I just built this little backsplash here, these last 2 here. That was just using up the wood I had. I thought it looked nice, I just kind of used it. Most of this was built with my nail gun. It was the first project I did with my nail gun last year. The other thing I did was I shot lag screws through the bottom corners here because of the way I anchored it. I didn't want to have a million of these vertical 2x4s, so I just shot a couple galvanized lag screws. They're about that long through there in the corner on the bottom just to keep it strong. So as far as the sand goes itself, it's very expensive to buy it in the bag, and you need about 150 bags to fill this thing out. It's huge. 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot, and then actually another 2 feet up here. So the volume is enormous. It's like, I figured it out, it's 2 yards volume-wise. So what I did instead is I went to a landscape supply with my little Harbor Freight trailer, put a tarp down, bought a half a yard of playbox sand, wrapped the tarp over it, and tied it down and drove backed the trailer over the edge, and Amy and I and the kids just slowly shoveled it into the sandbox. So I did 1 load the weekend I built it. A couple weeks later I did a 2nd load, and it still needs 1 more load, and then it'll be as full as I wanted it, because you will lose sand over time. So, and it's worked out really well. The kids love it, and you can get about 8 kids in it.